and welcome to my second vlog for my Masters in Strength and Conditioning at St Mary's University, London. This vlog will focus on skills and capacities in speed and agility. So specifically, this vlog will focus on the ankling speed drill and the 180-degree turn agility drill. Footage of the two performers performing these drills will be analysed using video analysis software, and I will discuss the athlete's performance of the drills in relation to skills and capacities. Okay, so first of all, ankling. Ankling is a speed drill that fundamentally teaches athletes how to lift the feet off the ground and how to put the feet down. I thought it would be useful to download the UKSCA video of ankling because there are a few different versions of technique out there. The main points of good ankling technique, as described by Sisek, include having the ankle dorsiflexed at contact and immediately after lift-off from the ground, having plantar flexion of the ankle while in contact with the ground, and having stiff legs. So as you can see from this UKSCA video, this is what good ankling technique should look like. So the first athlete that I'm going to analyse is an American football athlete. He is at a developmental level, and although he has a weekly sport-specific training sessions, he can be classified as a novice in speed and agility training. So first, let's just view the athlete in action. Okay, so the major issue this video highlights is that he has a lack of dorsiflexion at contact, and he is also not dorsiflexing immediately after liftoff from the ground either. Otherwise, he is showing pretty good stiff legs, and I'm also happy with his plantar flexion of the ankle whilst he is in contact with the ground. So now that we have identified a weakness, the next step is to determine whether it is due to a lack of skill or a lack of capacity. I gave the athlete some verbal and visual cues to see if this would improve his technique, but it didn't. So the next step was to assess whether there is a mobility limitation. Howe suggests that the weight-bearing lunge test is an effective test for measuring ankle dorsiflexion range of motion. As can be seen from the stills, the athlete only scored 6 centimetres for both his left and right side, which when compared against the normative data for this test shows that this is a poor score and demonstrates that the athlete has restricted Achilles tendon and tight soleus and gastrocnemius. In order to improve the athlete's range of motion at the ankle, I'll prescribe a few exercises for him. The first one you're seeing on the video here is him performing some ankle rolls. I'll also get him to do some static calf stretches, and finally I'll get him to do some heel walks. And all these things should hopefully result in a greater range of motion at the ankle, which will hopefully then result in a better technique for his ankling. Okay, so the second athlete is a long distance road runner at a sub-elite level, and she is also a novice when it comes to speed and agility training. So looking at the video of her ankling, it is evident that she demonstrates good dorsiflexion at contact and at liftoff. However, her legs are not stiff. You can also see some issues going on when we view the video of her in the frontal plane. There's quite a bit of lateral movement which we'll discuss later on. So again, we need to determine whether it's a skill or a capacity issue. So first of all, I assessed whether the athlete had misinterpreted the task instruction. So I showed her the UKSCA video, and I also let her watch the playback of her own performance. She said she hadn't fully understood the movement, but because of the visual feedback, she was confident that she'd be able to perform it better now. So this is the athlete performing ankling after getting the verbal and visual cues. As you can see, her legs are a lot more stiff now. There's also a lot less lateral movement now that she's sorted out her lower limbs. Okay, so the next drill is the 180-degree turn. The first video is of athlete 1 performing the drill. Again, we can see some issues going on with his performance, not least of all the fact that I asked him to turn on the green line, but I'm not too worried about that. What does concern me is his poor body position. He is too upright. So I've used Kinevia analysis software to gather some measurements. So in the first still, you can see the athlete's initial ground contact with their turning foot. So I've started the stopwatch, which you can see to the athlete's right. The next still is of the athlete in the plant phase, which is the transition between the deceleration step and the acceleration step. Body positioning and the ability to maintain strong trunk positions during the deceleration of momentum are critical for performance. It is good to see that the athlete is in a decent body lean position with strong alignment of the ankle, knee and hip through to the trunk and shoulders. This is demonstrated by the angle that is displayed from the ankle to the top of the head, and this will allow for proper force application through the ground and therefore should result in a shorter ground contact time. However, as you can see, he is quite upright. Ideally, he should enter and exit this change in direction with a lower centre of mass to enable a faster change in direction. The final still we see is the end of the ground contact time. For athlete 1, the ground contact time is 0.26 seconds, which according to Half and Triplett is within the published range for agility drills. So the major issue is the athlete's upright position. I gave him some verbal and visual cues, but his movement pattern did not improve. Therefore, I decided to assess whether there was a mobility limitation. As you can see from the video, the athlete is tight in the hamstring area. A score of 180 degrees is a perfect score, so we're going to need to do a bit of work with the athlete to increase the flexibility of his hamstrings, but should in turn allow him to get into a better position, that is with a low centre of mass, which will then enable him to change direction faster. Weight room activities such as stiff leg deadlift is a good method for increasing range of motion of hamstrings, and as you can see from this video, the athlete is not getting a good range of motion at the moment, as the bar ideally should be below the knee. You can also see from this video that the athlete has slight lumbar lordosis, so I look to correct that too through cues and feedback. Okay, so next up is athlete 2. Let's just watch her do the drill first. Well, as you can see from the movement within the red circle, she has not mastered the plant phase of the 180-degree drill. So first of all, I gave her some verbal and visual cues, including showing her the UKSCA video that is available online as part of the modified plyometrics, agility and speed practical assessment. So following these verbal and visual cues, now you can see her performance is much better. She is getting her centre of mass nice and low during the plant phase, but there's definitely still room for improvement. Whilst her centre of mass is nice and low, there is poor alignment of ankle, knee and hip through to the trunk and shoulders, therefore resulting in a greater angle of body lean position, as demonstrated in the angle that is from the ankle to the top of the head. This will result in a poorer application of force. There is also room for improvement with her ground contact time, as she is not very efficient at braking, especially when we compare this with athlete 1, which we will do next. Okay, so if we compare athlete 1 with athlete 2, we can see that athlete 1 had a lack of capacity due to poor flexibility of the hamstrings, which was restricting him lowering his centre of mass. Athlete 2 demonstrated a lack of skill, and while she has already improved after being given verbal and visual cues, there is still work to be done with regards to her plant phase. It is important as an S&C coach that we programme monitoring into our athletes' programmes so that we can measure whether our interventions are improving performance. One such monitor for the 180-degree turn is the 505 agility test, so this will be programmed for these two athletes. Okay, to summarise, in this vlog I've given two examples of individuals performing the ankling drill and the 180-degree turn drill. Athlete 1 had a lack of capacity for both the ankling drill and the 180-degree turn. Athlete 2 had a lack of skill for both the ankling drill and the 180-degree turn. I used video analysis software to identify errors in the performances, and then I gave appropriate solutions to resolve the issues. So these are the references for my vlog. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it to be a compelling and interesting analysis.